Let me ask you something. Have you ever gone to bed thinking you were doing everything right? No caffeine, no screen time, maybe even a short meditation, and yet, you still woke up the next morning feeling foggy, tired, or mentally off? Well, it turns out, the problem might not be what you're doing before bed, but what you're eating. Today's episode goes deep into something most people overlook: how food before sleep can quietly affect your brain, especially after 60. We're talking about memory, clarity, and long-term cognitive health, because the truth is, your brain doesn't shut down when you sleep, it gets to work. But what you eat before bed can either support that process, or sabotage it. And to help us unpack this, we're drawing on the powerful insight of someone who's not only lived it, but practiced it. Dr. Shigeyuki Hinohara, Japan's oldest practicing doctor, over 100 years old, has guided tens of thousands of patients through healthy aging. And today, he's revealing the 7 foods you should never eat before bed if you want to protect your brain. You see, food isn't just fuel, it's information. Every bite sends a signal to your body, and more importantly, to your brain. The wrong foods? They confuse your system, disrupt your natural repair cycle, and over time, they chip away at the very thing you rely on most, your mind. So before you take another late-night bite, stick with us, because what you think is harmless might actually be holding your brain back. Let's talk about something that seems harmless, but could be silently chipping away at your brain. You've had a long day. You want a little comfort. So maybe it's a cookie, a small cup of sweet tea, a piece of dark chocolate, or even one of those so-called healthy granola bars. Harmless, right? Not quite. Because here's what refined sugar does, especially when you eat it before bed. It spikes your blood sugar quickly, giving you that temporary, moment. But then, it crashes. And with that crash comes a surge of cortisol, your body's main stress hormone. Now you've got a nervous system on alert, at the exact time your brain is supposed to be winding down and entering deep repair mode. And that's where the real damage happens. You see, during deep sleep, your brain consolidates memory, flushes out waste, and calms inflammation. But when you toss sugar into the system late at night, you don't just lose quality sleep, you disrupt brain detox, memory building, and emotional reset. This isn't just theory. A study in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that glucose variability at night was directly linked to reduced cognitive performance the next day, especially in older adults. So what can you do? It's not about depriving yourself, it's about choosing smarter fuel. Instead of sugar, try a slice of apple with almond butter, or a few berries with a spoonful of Greek yogurt. That way, your blood sugar stays stable, and your brain can actually do what it was built to do at night: repair, restore, and protect you. Remember, sweet dreams start with smart choices. Here's something we rarely talk about when it comes to brain health: processed meats. I know, it's easy to think of bacon or deli slices as convenient, protein-packed, or even part of a low-carb evening snack. But what if I told you these foods could be silently fueling brain inflammation while you sleep? Let's break it down. Processed meats, like bacon, sausage, salami, or ham, often come loaded with sodium and chemical preservatives like nitrates. And while sodium can push your blood pressure up, the bigger danger here is neuroinflammation, a silent condition that's now recognized as one of the leading causes of cognitive decline in older adults. Why does that matter? Because an inflamed brain doesn't function clearly. It doesn't consolidate memories as effectively. And over time, it leads to that familiar morning fog, sluggish thinking, and yes, greater risk of long-term memory loss. Let me share a real case. A 67-year-old woman came in complaining of daily brain fog and headaches. She thought it was sleep apnea, but a deeper look revealed her nightly routine: small plate of cured meats and cheese before bed. Once she cut the processed meats and added nutrients like magnesium and omega-3s, her clarity came back in just 2 weeks. The takeaway? Sometimes, it's not about what we add, but what we remove. So if you're used to having deli meats at night, even in small amounts, it might be time to rethink. Because what feels like comfort food could be sending your brain the wrong message. Instead, go for brain-calming options: a handful of nuts, a boiled egg, Or some avocado on whole grain toast. Simple swaps. Powerful results. Let's talk about something we've all done at least once. It's late, you're winding down, and suddenly, you crave something salty. Something crunchy. Maybe a handful of chips. A few fries left from dinner. Or even some crispy snack that's been sitting in the pantry. It's comforting, right? But here's the problem. Fried foods at night are one of the biggest enemies of your brain's overnight repair system. Here's why. Most fried snacks are loaded with trans fats and oxidized oils, ingredients that don't just sit in your stomach. They slow digestion, increase neuroinflammation, and overwork your system while you sleep. And that matters, especially after 60. Why? Because nighttime is when your brain clears out toxins, consolidates memories, and resets itself for the next day. But if your body is busy digesting heavy, damaged fats, your brain doesn't get the resources it needs to detox. You may be sleeping, but inside, your system is stuck in processing mode. That's not rest, that's interference. And this isn't just a theory. A 2018 study published in Neurology found that people who ate more saturated and trans fats, particularly in the evening, scored significantly lower on memory and recall tests, with the effects more pronounced in older adults. So if you've been waking up foggy, forgetful, or mentally drained, ask yourself, was there something fried on my plate last night? Now, this doesn't mean you have to give up crunch or comfort. Try this instead. Lightly roasted pumpkin seeds or air-popped popcorn drizzled with a little olive oil. You'll still get that satisfying bite, without the cognitive cost. Because your brain deserves rest, not resistance. Let's talk about one of the most misleading bedtime habits, a glass of alcohol before sleep. Now, I know what you're thinking. A nightcap sounds relaxing, right? Maybe a small glass of wine or little bourbon to wind down the day. It feels soothing. It makes you drowsy. It even helps you fall asleep faster. But here's the hidden truth. Alcohol doesn't help your brain rest. It disrupts the very sleep your brain depends on to stay sharp. Let's break it down. Even small amounts of alcohol suppress melatonin, the hormone that signals your brain it's time to sleep. Worse, it fragments your REM cycle, the phase when memory consolidates and emotional processing takes place. You might not remember waking up, but your brain does. Alcohol increases nighttime awakenings, even in people who say they sleep fine after a drink. So, while you may fall asleep quicker, you miss out on the deep, restorative sleep your brain truly needs. And science backs this up. A 2020 study published in Sleep Health found that even low doses of alcohol before bed reduced slow-wave sleep by over 30%. That's the most important stage for brain detox, memory retention, and waking up with clarity. So, what's the fix? If you enjoy an occasional drink, have it with dinner, not as a late-night ritual. And on most nights, try switching to a calming herbal tea instead. Think chamomile, lemon balm, or even a magnesium-rich blend like passion flower. Your nervous system will feel more supported, your sleep will be deeper, and your brain will finally get the rest it's been asking for. Because after 60, the quality of your sleep isn't just about rest, it's about resilience. Here's a habit that feels healthy, but might be the reason you keep waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning. We're talking about refined carbs, foods like white bread, pasta, crackers, evening cereals, or even those low-fat granola bars. They don't taste sweet, so most people assume they're safe, especially before bed. But here's what really happens behind the scenes. Refined carbs break down fast, almost like sugar. They give you a quick rise in blood sugar. But then, just as quickly, your levels crash. And when that drop happens while you're asleep, your brain panics. It thinks, oh, we're out of fuel. So what does it do? It wakes you up, maybe fully, maybe just enough to feel restless, or make you think you need the bathroom. But in reality, it's often your brain calling out for glucose, not your bladder. This is more than just a theory. A study in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine found that diets high in refined carbohydrates were linked to more nighttime awakenings, especially in people over 65. That means the very foods people eat to wind down lightly could be disrupting their brain's overnight recovery. So what's the smarter choice? Swap out the fast-burning carbs for something slow and steady, foods that stabilize blood sugar and support brain repair. Try half a banana with almond butter, a few spoonfuls of chia pudding, or plain Greek yogurt with a sprinkle of cinnamon. These options won't spike or crash your energy. They'll help your brain stay asleep, stay calm, and stay clear. Because sleep isn't just about falling asleep, it's about staying there long enough for your brain to truly heal. And just when you think you're safe, these next two might surprise you. 6. Aged cheese and strong fermented foods. Why to avoid it? Foods like Parmesan, blue cheese, aged meats, or heavily fermented dishes contain a compound called tyramine. This natural substance can stimulate the nervous system, slightly increase blood pressure, and most importantly, block the production of melatonin, your sleep hormone. The problem: instead of calming your brain before bed, tyramine actually activates it, making it harder to fall into deep, restorative sleep. And as we age, that deep sleep becomes even more precious and harder to come by. Smart swap. If you love flavor, try switching to low-sodium, soft cheeses like ricotta or cottage cheese. They're gentler on your digestion and your brain. 7. Hidden caffeine in innocent drinks. Why to avoid it? Many people think they're safe as long as they skip the coffee. But caffeine hides in black tea, chocolate, hot cocoa, and many diet sodas. Even small amounts can stay active in your system for up to 6 hours. The result: you might fall asleep, but your brain won't stay asleep. Caffeine disrupts deep sleep cycles and prevents your brain from fully entering its recovery state. That's why you can wake up feeling tired, even after 7 to 8 hours in bed. Smart swap. Check your labels carefully. Instead, reach for truly caffeine-free herbal teas like chamomile, peppermint, or roasted barley tea. These soothe your system and support better brain rest. Before you go, I've got a special health gift I'd love to share with you. On this channel, I share simple, effective health tips, all based on real scientific research and practical, everyday experience. And if you'd like to receive a free gift, it's super easy. Hit the subscribe button, comment below, claim my gift. I'll send it straight to you. Don't miss out, because your journey to better health starts with small choices just like this one.